Hello and welcome back to the Eastwick Conference's film breakdown series, where today I want to talk about Kawhi Leonard, who just embarrassed the Minnesota Timberwolves on national television for 41 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 steals. Shot 14 for 30 from the field, 5 for 11 from 3, and 8 for 10 from the free throw line. Kawhi is having an outstanding season, and by outstanding, I really mean outstanding. To put it into perspective, he's averaging a career-high 28 points per game now on nearly 50-40-90 shooting. This was his fifth 40-point game of the season. Heading into this year, he only had 7 in his regular season career. He is playing out of his mind, and so I want to talk about him. It's probably overdue, but this game is as good a showcase as we're going to get all year. The first thing I want to talk about is his three-point shooting. He made 5 in this game. He is taking a career-high 7.1, by far a career high. Actually, the next highest in a season was 5.7 in the bubble season in 2020. But these ones in particular, I want you to notice. You see that pull-up early in the clock. It's something that Kawhi has actually talked about, wanting to play with more pace and get these threes up early in the clock. I did some digging on his numbers. 8% of his total shots are three-point attempts coming between 22 and 18 seconds in the shot clock. Not only is that a career high, the only season that actually comes close within 1% was the Raptors season, 2018-19, and especially in his Clippers career, that number is usually around half of what it is this season. So there is a very concerted effort from Kawhi to get these shots up early in the clock, to juice the Clippers' early offense, and to keep defenders on their toes by being one of the more accurate and deadly shooters that the league has right now. But of course, you cannot talk about Kawhi Leonard as a scorer without bringing up the mid-range, and for a good reason. This guy is one of the craziest mid-range shot makers I've ever seen. I think part of it has to do with the fact that his hands are so big that it lets him control the ball really, really well, but also his footwork is pristine. You see that step back into that sort of step through. He's just playing under complete control. You can never speed him up. Here, Anthony Edwards getting isolated on the right side of the floor, and he just gets cooked with that step back. And then here on the sort of double drag, gets the screen and then the dribble handoff. This double clutch is just absolutely absurd, but I want to use that as a segue to talk about the other part of his mid-range game, other than just the crazy isolation shot making, that I think goes a little underrated, that this season really stands out to me, and that is his work in the short mid-range. So between the restricted area and the free throw line, he is taking 35% of his shots there, which is a massive part of his shot diet and really just a huge outlier number throughout most of the league, and he's shooting 53% on those looks. And all of the things that I just talked about, the fact that he's able to control the ball so well, he has that great touch, and then his footwork being really almost second to none, I really think it helps him out so much in getting to that area of the floor. Here he gets that same dribble handoff setup, uses that ball fake really beautifully to get Gobert off his toes. But then here, watch, he just goes to work on Jaden McDaniels. That jump stop, again, super fundamental stuff, but when you have the touch and the strength that Leonard has, it really makes you unstoppable. One of his other moves is the step through. He does it here on Anthony Edwards there. That pump fake into the pivot to get right over the top of a contest is another Kawhi Leonard classic. But here, notice how he catches the ball way closer to the basket than last time, but he's still able to use that same move, those same fundamentals, maybe a little bit of a travel there on that hop step, but he's able to work his way closer to the basket. And then here, I like this play because it shows a little bit of variation in his usage by the Clippers. He starts the play underneath the basket in the paint. Also notice we're very early in the shot clock. That's another thing that I think the Clippers are going to try to get into more, especially with Darius Garland. But he starts the ball. He starts without the ball down here, and Jaden McDaniels is top blocking him because he's expecting Brook Lopez to set this screen. It's called a ram screen, so that Leonard can run up here, get his defender trailing a little bit, and he can catch the ball and start at the top of the key. So because of that, McDaniels doesn't want that to happen. The entire restricted area is open, and Chris Dunn just needs to float this over the top. Again, this is the second consecutive low catch that we've seen. Not only is he able to start on the perimeter and work his way to his spots, he can also start off of the ball, catch it in advantageous positions, and finish at a high level. I like that kind of usage by the Clippers to get him in different spots. It just makes him even more dangerous. And before I go, I do want to talk about Kawhi's defense just a little bit. Obviously, he has a well-earned reputation as one of the best wing defenders of all time, certainly of this era. But I think it's something of a consensus within the basketball community. People say it all the time that his defensive peak was really much earlier in his career with San Antonio. But this year, I said he had 4 steals. He's averaging 2.1 per game, which is tied with Cason Wallace for the league lead. Not only that, it's his highest number since 2015 when he led the league at 2.3 and won Defensive Player of the Year. And on top of that, if you can believe it, his steal percentage, so the percentage of defensive possessions where he gets a steal, is currently a career high 2.8%. So in terms of his activity and disruption on that end, he is right now as good as he's ever been. We talked about the big hands on offense. Obviously, it really helps him as a defender when you pair it with his awareness. You cannot be lazy throwing passes like that because he's just going to take the ball. And then here you see Brook Lopez helps out onto Anthony Edwards, which means that Kawhi becomes the low man. And again, any sort of ball insecurity is death when this guy is in the play. Rudy Gobert bumbles it just a little bit and the ball is gone. Kawhi has it and it's Clipper ball. Here, Jaden McDaniels struggles just a little bit to get the ball out of his hands and Kawhi is able to just simply take it. So all in all, Kawhi is having one of the very best seasons in the league. It was somewhat of a crime, although everybody was talking about it, that he didn't get named to the All-Star team initially. That was rectified. He is now a 7-time All-Star, and deservedly so. If he is able to qualify for end-of-season awards, I think he has an exceptionally good case for first-team All-NBA. There is some drama to that, though. He's already missed 13 games this year, which means he can only miss 4 more throughout the rest of the season if he's going to be eligible for those awards. I will say, though, I am not a fan of the 65-game rule for a number of reasons, but seasons like this are right at the top of them. Kawhi did not sit games. He was hurt, genuinely. He missed 10 games earlier in the season, then he missed 3 at another point. If he ends up tweaking an ankle and missing 5 games, he's just not going to be eligible for All-NBA, and people are going to look back on that and see it as the crime that it truly would be. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I know I have some Spurs fans that are watching this that certainly won't. I apologize. I had to do this, but I really hope you guys have a great day.